morning, friends.
Good morning.
I need to catch my breath for a second. All right, good morning and welcome. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Santa Monica. I'm Karen Shue Patterson, and I'm honored to be your worship associate today. It is so good to see all of you here today and online as we gather together in peace. So, what does peace mean to you? What challenges your peace? What stands in the way of peace in our larger world? And what nourishes your peace? How can we bridge differences and weave a tapestry for love and understanding and cultivate peace together? Especially in these troubling and divisive times, it is so important that we continue to connect with each other for the greater good. We'll explore how we might answer these big questions during our special all-ages service this morning. We'll draw from our rich, multi-faith and multicultural histories and see what wisdom we can apply to build peace within ourselves and in greater community. May this hour offer reflection, renewal, and even some fun. Let us breathe out and release worries from the past week. Let us breathe in and fill our spiritual cups for the week ahead, and we don't have to do it alone. I want to share some words by Pat Uribe-Lichty, a reading titled Different Yet United. We come from many places, among different paths, bringing different truths. We come with different histories and different realities, and yet we come together as one people, with faith that we can use our differences to heal ourselves and each other, to bring wholeness to a fractured world. We come seeking to find community, to find acceptance of who we are. In this place, we may find others who are much like us and others who are much different. May our lit chalice remind us that we are a people taught by different stories with many voices, but always one people, working for a world where love creates justice and justice gives birth to peace. Come, let us worship together.
Karen deserves the applause for doing double duty today of getting up here to speak after she's out of breath from singing and dancing and drumming with us. So thank you, Karen, as always, for being a wonderful worship associate. And good morning, my name is Jessica Tenhave Place, and I'm the Director of Multi-Generational Religious Education here at UUSM, and I am so excited to have everyone here for one of our special kid-friendly multi-generational services. And along with all the people who always work so hard in front of and behind the scenes to make our Sunday services happen, I just want to acknowledge, of course, Ryan is always with us as our pianist. Wonderful, Ryan. And then I have to take the opportunity to thank my mother, Debbie Place, for coming all the way to Arizona to help us assemble and lead our multi-generational choir that we saw up here earlier, and that's going to continue to lead us in the music today. And just for if I stop to name everyone, we've had so many helpers all throughout our RE program that keep us moving. So just thank you to everyone who helps us out there. As Unitarian Universalists, we affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person. We do our best to live up to this value through our commitment to anti-racism, practicing allyship with people living with disabilities, and celebrating the inherent worth of LGBTQ people of all ages, to name just a few things. We gather here on the land of the Tongva people and stand in solidarity with their struggle for liberation and sovereignty, along with the other indigenous peoples of Los Angeles and throughout the world. And so now I want to invite up Quinn and Zia, who are going to help me with the chalice lighting this morning. Thank you, Quinn and Zia. So Quinn, I'll give that to you. You can light the chalice for us. And then what we're going to do today is we always have a kind of formulation for our chalice lighting that we do in the cottage over in RE. We also start our lessons with lighting the chalice, as Quinn's going to do for us here. Good job. Thank you, Quinn. And then Zia is going to show how we do our style of reading, and I'll do the motions along that we all do, so you can join me in the motions.
We are Unitarian Universalists who put love at the center of our lives. We light this chalice today to build a more peaceful world together.
I love that. Zia came up with those motions at the end. So let's try that last part again all together. So we're lighting this chalice today to
build a more peaceful world together.
Thank you, Quinn and Zia. Good job. And now please stand in body or spirit as we set our intention for our service today with hymn number 169 in the gray hymnal, We Shall Overcome.
Please remain standing for our covenant in English and Spanish. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, thus do we covenant with each other. El amor es la enseñanza de esta iglesia. Buscar la verdad es su sacramento y el servicio es la oración. Vivir juntos en paz, buscar el conocimiento en la libertad, servir a la humanidad en comunión. Así es como convinimos unos a otros.
now is the time where we do our weekly collection for the Westside Food Bank. So we'll ask our kids over here to grab some of our grocery bags that we have on hand. And if you've brought a donation for the Westside Food Bank, please raise your hand, and one of our helpers will come see where you are and see what we have to bring up for our donations this week. So we always give to the Westside Food Bank every week. It's one of the ways that, as we say, service is our prayer here. And we always want our youngest members to be involved in learning how to be of service to others who are most in need. So it sounds like we got some pasta over there. I see some beans, rice, cereal. These are all great things to bring shelf-stable items that will help people in our community who are dealing with hunger and food insecurity. So thank you so much, everyone, for bringing in those donations. They're much needed. So my friends will make their way back to bring the donations to our box up front here. Let's see what we got with us today. Thank you, Lumi. Good job. You can bring it up to the basket by the chalice. Good job. Thank you, Quinn. What's some of the stuff we got in our bags today? Cans. All right. It's always good to have canned food. All right. So you can pile everything up in there. And then, oats. Yeah. And so then at this point in the service, when our young friends meet me up on the steps for our time for all ages. So any kids who are with us today, feel free to come join us on the steps. I'm putting this in my pocket for safekeeping, not to keep it for myself. I promise it's going in the donation. Okay, yeah, everybody come join us here on the steps. And so usually this is what we call our time for all ages, when we have a story or an activity that's designed for more of our younger members of the community, but that hopefully also has some wisdom in it for our grown-ups who are with us too. But since this is a multi-generational service, kind of the whole service is a time for all ages, which is what I love, getting to have all ages in here together for our entire service. Come join us, Otto. Thank you. But so those of you who are in our services every week, you'll see how I often will throw questions at our kids up here, and they gotta answer like right off the top of the head. And so I thought I would generously include some of our adults in that as well today. Because I wanted to see how many representatives of our different generations we might have here with us today. So I'm going to commit the cardinal sin in West LA of asking everyone to give a ballpark estimation of their age. But so raise your hand if you are Gen Alpha. That means you're born anywhere between 2013 to 2024. Is that you? Yeah, I think that's a lot of our kids that we have up front here are Gen Alphas. And then I know we have at least a couple Gen Zs with us, born between 2012 and 1997. So we got Delaney and Sophia up there. I see a few more Gen Zs out in the crowd. And then, let's see, who comes next? Oh yeah, millennials. So that's me. Yeah, a few of us up here between 1981 and 1996. Yeah, we got some millennials spread in the crowd. And then Gen X comes next. So if you're born between, yeah, there we go, representing Gen X. From 1965 to 1980. So that's when you get categorized as a Gen X. And then, do we have any baby boomers in the house? Yeah. That's where the name comes from. There was a baby boom, so I thought there'd be a lot of them with us today. Which the years officially there span from 1946 to 1964. Do we have any members of the silent generation with us? Anyone born before 1945? Yeah, all right. Woo! And then this, I would not hold it against any members of the greatest generation if they're watching home from streaming, but anyone here born before 1928? That's all right. We'll send our, I hope they're getting some well-deserved rest if they're still with us. But so I want to get a representative from each of those generations. So Zia, you'll be my Gen Alpha. Delaney, you want to be my Gen Z? Okay, stand up if you're coming up here. Is there a millennial who would like to volunteer out there? Am I going to have to? Oh, I see a completely unknown volunteer to me who's going to come up and... Thank you, James. This is my husband, James, for anyone who doesn't know. How about we had those loud Gen Xers who wants to come up and be my Gen X person? Cynthia, yay! And then who's my baby boomer? Larry, yeah, come on up, Larry. And then any silent generation volunteers? I promise the questions are. Yeah, thank you. Come on up. Let's cheer on. So I have both a simple question, but a little bit of a question that you might need to think on a little bit, which is for each of our generations. What comes to mind when you think of war, and what comes to mind when you think of peace? So I'm going to start with our youngest folks down here. So Zia, what do you think of when you think of the word war?
I mean, World War II, but to be more specific, my historical fiction books that I read about World War II.
Nice. Yeah, Zia's a big reader, so she learns a lot about history that way. Could you think of like one fact that you've learned about World War II? Not to put you on the spot, but anything that you find interesting?
I actually read this book recently that's really interesting. It's called The Rose Code. It's about these 3 women who go to this place called Bletchley Park, which is supposedly an asylum, but it's actually places where people do war work, and it is so fascinating.
That sounds...
The Rose Code.
All right, the book recommendation from Zia, The Rose Code. We'll check that out to learn some more about World War II.
There was a sign on the billboard in Forbes Hall that said, "Fighting Nazis since 1927. So I actually asked Cassie, what does that mean? And she said that before World War II actually started, even before that, the Unitarian Universalists would be helping Jewish people escape before the war started, and that's where the sign of the chalice comes from.
Yeah, that's right. Good job. Yeah. So we have a proud history with that. That's wonderful. And so then, how about when you think of the word peace? What comes to mind for peace? Which is a word that can have many meanings, right? So it's something you have to kind of reflect on. But what's something that's peaceful to you?
I guess reading.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, reading is a wonderful way to find peace even in the midst of troubled times. So I think that's great. So how about you, Delaney? The word war, what comes to mind for you?
Right now I would say the Russo-Ukrainian war, the Palestinian and Israeli conflict, the civil war in Sudan. For me, I feel like it used to be that, because I also read a lot, but now I'm reading a lot more of what's going on. Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, so we have a lot of war happening in our world today, sadly. And so then what about peace? What comes to mind for you for peace?
Probably this church.
That's so sweet. Thank you, Delaney. Yeah, me too. I love that we have a place of peace here. So James, what? So my fellow millennial, what comes to mind for you for the word war?
I'll speak in general terms, and I would say extreme closed-mindedness and selfishness.
Yeah, I think that can be a lot of what gets wars started, yeah. And then how about peace? What comes to mind for peace?
That would be acceptance and fully embracing our differences.
I didn't tell him what to say. He's just really that profound. Thank you, James. Okay, so our Gen X representative, Cynthia, what do you think of when you think of the word war?
Well, I took your question literally, and I've had a minute to think. So the literal thing was being Gen X, the Iraq War, 1990, watching war unfold on TV like a video game. That was definitely an inflection point. And then peace, again, taking it literally, I was a political science major in Northern Ireland when they finally came to peace, and that was a lasting thing that was incredible. But I just want to say, right now, we have a war on the streets of LA, and we have a war on truth that is the deadliest thing that could be in terms of what's changing our world. The war on truth is more deadly than ever. So that is mine.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you, Cynthia. And then how? Thank you. No, that was great. Okay, I'll hold the mic, Larry.
Allow me to hold the mic. So I got a little, I got a little philosophical here too, because that's what I do. So when I think about war, I think that what would be lovely is if the people who send their troops to war, should fight the first battle to the death. I don't, politicians should not be the ones making these decisions. And as far as peace goes, I see the entire world getting together in a big circle and sharing with the person next to them what they have in common, and then just going around and keeping sharing what we have in common. So that's my answer.
I think that's a good idea. Thank you, Larry.
And thank you, Carrie. So how about for you, for war, what comes to mind, your frame of reference?
I remember watching the Vietnam War on TV. It was horrifying. And I would echo a lot of what's been said.
And then how about peace? What do you think about when you think of peace?
The same circle Larry's in.
I agree, yeah, thank you. And I think that here we have a good beginning to that circle of people who all have our differences, but can also connect in our similarities. And so let's all think of that as we continue with today's service. So this is the beginning of our circle of peace that can overcome the evils of war that we see in the world. So let's start it here today. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you very much. We can head back to our seats, and Karen will come share some announcements with us.
Okay, just a few announcements today. One is, please silence your cell phones if you haven't already. And I do want to say a special hello and welcome to any new visitors that we might have today. Please find out more about our faith at the in-person First Sunday Visitor Meetup, which is after the first Sunday service each month. And the next one is August 3rd. It'll be upstairs in Forbes Hall behind me. Bring your questions, find out more about us, and you can also look for our visitors table in the courtyard after service. Our animal ministry facilitates pet food contributions to the LA Animal Services Pet Food Pantries, assisting low-income families and individuals experiencing financial hardship who might need help feeding their animal companions. Please bring your unwanted, unopened cat and dog food or buy some to donate. Wet and dry foods are both welcome. You can deposit your donations in the box next to the human food donations barrel in the foyer? In the front, anytime. Or you can visit the animal ministry table next Sunday, July 20th, and drop off your donations in person. Please do check your weekly church email announcements and the church website at uusm.org to find out more about any upcoming events. And now I would like to invite Cynthia to come up and tell us more about one of our favorite places.
Thank you, everybody. I'm so excited. As you know, I'm a big fan of Camp de Benneville Pines. Woohoo! It's taken us a little bit, but we finally solidified our plan for this week, for our church retreat weekend this year. It will be 2 weekends later than usual. Usually we're smack dab in the middle of September. This time we're going to be the last weekend of September, September 26th through September 28th. And we will be collabing, as the kids say. We'll be co-locating our camp with the cluster from Thousand Oaks, some from the Ventura area, not Ventura itself, but some churches from the Ventura area, Studio City, where I know a lot of folks, some folks here know people there, so we will be clustering with other groups in the effort to, for sure make new friends, meet people, but also to fill the camp. because we have in fact struggled to fill the camp in the past, and that's hard on the camp if they can't be at full strength. So I think this is going to be fantastic. We're going to meet new friends, have new experiences, but we'll also have plenty of great time to have congregational, to kind of get together and bond. So there will be more info coming in the newsletter. Joyce Holman, the angel that is Joyce Holman, is going to have a table out there, so she will have all kinds of stuff. I'm going to man that same table in not this week, not next week, but the following week, and we'll have it up in August. You can register soon. You'll be able to register on the website. If you're familiar with the Dependable Pines site, you can register there. We will have all kinds of info. We'll give you all the websites. Joyce even has mail-in forms for checks, old-fashioned checks, so if you still have some of those in your drawer. But really excited, more to come on this, but really, really hope camp is for all ages, not just kids, but please, please bring your kids. It's so much fun with kids. So thank you, more to come. Really appreciate your time and attention.
All right, thank you, Cynthia. And it's almost coming up on that time to greet your neighbor. Please remember to listen for Ryan's magical piano cue to come back from Time to Greet Your Neighbor, and then we'll follow that with our music for the morning. So let's take a few moments to say hi.
Now I have to break up the fun that everyone is having. We all like each other too much here. We have too many friends, and we always want to spend all of our time greeting one another. But you're going to want to get ready to hear a performance from our multi-generational choir that we have assembled.
right to Lumi and Otto. Do you want to come over here and help me out? I could use some help from Lumi and Otto if you guys want to join me. Maybe your mom will help you. Oh, come over here. Joyce, come on. Because guess what? We have some dance moves to go with this song. If you guys feel better over there, you can play the drums over there. We always have choices for what we get to participate in RE, because we don't want kids to think of church as that place where they had to come do stuff that they didn't really want to do. But the things are they got to contribute in the ways that are best for them. So that's perfect. If you guys bring up the drums, that'll really help us. Okay. And so when I was talking to Emerson, who some of you may know, he's at a birthday party this morning, but he was with us yesterday hanging out and singing songs. And he told me, Jessica, do you know about emotional music? And I was like, well, tell me more. It sounds interesting. And he was just telling me how he had learned in school that you can use music to express every different kind of emotion. And I was like, well, that's great, Emerson, because, it's great to sing together and be happy and share joy. But sometimes we also have emotions like sadness or even anger to get out. And music is a wonderful, healthy, non-violent way to get out all of those emotions. So in this song, you're going to listen to us sing, watch us dance, and also pay attention to how the emotions change with the music. And we can think about how we can use music to express ourselves also throughout the week. So we all ready? And now we'll transition into our time of prayer, speaking of all our emotions, our joys as well as our sorrows. I'm going to ask Norm to come forward and share a sorrow in our community this week.
So we heard last week from his wife, Sherry, that longtime member Ed Fields has passed away. Ed was probably a founder of the men's group, and for many, many years came monthly to our group. And one of the things that was really disconcerting for him after he had a stroke was that he wasn't able to really contribute. He wanted to be there, and there were a couple times when he did come, but he wasn't able to contribute the way he did in the past. So we mourn his passing, and please join me in keeping his wife, Sherry, and the family in the light and in our thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, Norm. I also wanted to share another name that we should all be holding in our hearts today. Jaime Alanis Garcia has died from injuries that happened when he was fleeing from the ICE attack in Ventura County earlier this week that I'm sure many of us saw on the news. He was injured falling 30 feet from a building when ICE was in pursuit of the workers there, and then died of his injuries in the hospital later that week. And so let's hold both Ed and his family, as well as Jaime and his family and loved ones, and all of our folks in our community who are immigrants or just people of color who are having to live in fear right now. And we'll keep in mind our circle of peace that we talked about before, and let us make that circle around the more endangered members of our community right now who are going through all of these struggles. But in RE, when we get together with the kids in the cottage, we do a lot of our prayer, not necessarily through words, but through art. We use art to communicate and tell stories, to express our feelings, to spend time together and just get in touch with, the physical world, getting to paint and sculpt and do things with our hands. It's a way to connect with your soul in a different way than just having spoken words. So today, reflecting on the need for peace, both in our own internal lives, in our relationships with the people who are closest to us, and in our broader world, I want to invite you to contribute some art to a prayer collage that we're all going to make today. So you'll see this white sheet of paper behind Delaney up here. We're all going to make our own smaller drawings, and we'll bring you some art supplies in a moment. So we'll take some time. While speaking of Delaney, she's going to come up and play some piano for us. I only learned she was a beautiful piano player this week, and we have so many talented young people in our church. But so while Delaney plays us some meditative music, we're going to put our prayers, whatever that means to you, into our art, reflecting on the need for peace in our world. And so I'm going to ask some of my helpers. How about let's get Cynthia, Sophia, Miss Debbie, if we could take these baskets over here. And so we're going to come down your aisle and pass you some small sheets of paper, and then you'll also get the basket of markers and crayons sent down the aisle. Grab a few colors that call out to you, and we're all going to spend I'll give us 3 or 4 minutes to be in prayer and meditation as we create our prayer collage. You're welcome to come color up here with the kids too. There's also a station in the rear if you need a little bit more peace. So whatever calls to you, let's take our time to make our art together. free to come up here, and Sophia and some of our helpers will help you attach your drawing to our prayer collage. Thank you so much. This is already looking like a beautiful piece of art, and so I'm so glad that everyone here is getting to experience a lot of what we get to do in the cottage every week with our elementary school-age kids. And I would encourage everyone as we're leaving the service later to stop by, take a look, see all the beautiful visions of peace and our prayers of what we're wanting to improve in our world. Thank you all so much for contributing to that. Our helpers will continue to post the rest of them up. This is what I always have to say in RE when everyone gets too excited about their art projects. You can always take some supplies home to finish your project at home if you didn't get time to do it today. So thank you so much, everyone. Okay, yeah, so they'll keep working over there as we get into our reading for today. And so I'm going to do something that might seem a little too traditional for what we like to do in our UU services, which is I have a reading from the New Testament, from the book of Acts. But we can't just do it like normal, right? We have to make it a little different. And so I have an interesting translation that I'll share with you guys. And as always for our all ages services, there will be moments to participate. So I'm going to need some help from you all with sound effects and whatnot. So be ready. I'm going to cue you for what we need in our story. And actually, I'm going to come down here so I can have my movable microphone. Okay. So, last month, Christians all over the world celebrated the holiday of Pentecost. Does anyone know what Pentecost is about? I have someone in the front row right here. Just briefly, what's the holiday of Pentecost about in the Christian church?
Well, it's when the Holy Spirit came upon the Christians. And
yeah, exactly. And so I thought we could share a bit of that story from the New Testament, but I have a special version for you guys, right? Because obviously if we crack open the Bible we have up here, that's telling us a story that took place in Jerusalem in the 1st century, which is, for a million reasons, kind of hard for our 21st century brains to reach back and think exactly what it must have been like back then. And so I'm going to bring it up to something slightly more recent. So Clarence Jordan, one of my favorite Christians that I admire a lot. He was the founder of the Koinonia, tripping up on my Greek, Koinonia Farm. It was a racially integrated Christian commune founded in Georgia in 1942. So that tells you everything you need to know about Clarence Jordan. There were not many white Christian leaders who were taking this kind of anti-racist stance way back in 1942. And you know, through as the civil rights movement developed in the years after, the folks on Koinonia Farms were very supportive of that and lived it out in their community life every day. And so Clarence Jordan, he came up with a sort of paraphrase of the New Testament that he called the Cotton Patch Gospel, which was a modern translation with a Southern accent, is what he called it. And so he basically took those stories from the New Testament and brought them into his contemporary life, which was at the time in the 1950s in the South. And so he reimagined those stories if they were taking place around him today. And so Mr. Jordan, he reimagines the day of Pentecost, not in 1st century Jerusalem, but in 20th century Atlanta. And so I'll let you know when it's time that I need some storytelling assistance from my sound effects folks out here. But so let's imagine. When Thanksgiving Day arrived, Jesus' followers were all gathered in one place. Then all of a sudden, there came from the sky a rumbling like a tornado. Let's hear some tornado sounds. And it filled the whole house where they gathered. And they saw forked flames as from a fire. Let's see some flames, finger flames out there. And it stayed in contact with each one of them. So everybody had flames floating over their heads. Everybody was bursting with Holy Spirit and started talking in whatever different languages the Spirit dictated. So now's your permission to shout out in any languages you know. All right, now I can say I got the Unitarian speaking in tongues. I think that's a good achievement. Now, at this time, there were lots of folks gathered in Atlanta, religious people from countries all over the world. So when they heard this great noise, they all came running together. Let's hear some running feet. And they heard these folks talking to each other in their own native tongue. And were they excited? Amazed to no end. They said, "Look, aren't all these folks from Georgia? How are we hearing them in our own native tongue? French, Italian, Mandarin, Swedish, Hindi. What other language do you think they might have heard?" Every language we could imagine, all the languages that we might speak here in this room. And yeah, we're hearing them in our own languages, speaking good news to the poor. Everybody was dumbfounded, saying, "What's the meaning of this?" Others sneered, "They're tanked up on white lightning." So Rock, that's one of Jesus' main disciples, he got right up there and started explaining matters to them. Now here's where I ask,
Do we have any folks in the crowd who think they have a good Southern accent in them? Oh, I think I just heard one, so that means I'm coming to you, friend. So it's the bolded part right there. Give us your best Southern accent.
Fellow Georgians and all you folks visiting us here in Atlanta, let me set you straight. These folks not tanked up like you think. It's only 9 o'clock in the morning. This is just the happening described in the book of Joel.
Good job. And so Rock quoted from the prophet Joel what he had said all along. When the time is ripe, said the divine, I will share my spirit with all humankind, and your sons and your daughters will speak the truth. Your young people will catch visions, and your old people will dream new dreams. Thank you for helping me tell that story. Good job, everyone.
My remarks brief, because I think it was Grandpa Joe who said, my father served as a pastor. He's still with us. He was retired from the ministry. My father was a pastor. His father was a pastor. And he always used to say that if you can't say what you got to say in like 5 minutes, then it's probably not worth saying if you have to say it longer than that. So I'll try to do him one better. Because I just wanted to share that this traditional Christian story from the distant past speaks to us here, I believe, in our multi-faith, multicultural UU congregation. It tells us that when the Spirit sets people on fire for justice and truth and change, the Spirit speaks in every language. I witness this whenever I've seen Angelinos gather to protest against injustice in these days. My language skills are probably on par with the average American, which is to say not very good. But I've learned the language of protest. The mass protests in Los Angeles sound like the day of Pentecost. You guys know this one. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? That's right. I also hear, Tahya Palestine, Tahya Palestine. Or how about this one? That means long live Palestine. That's right. Yeah, Gila's probably correcting my pronunciation a little bit, so thank you. And then here somebody will correct me on this one too. Ice, escucha, estamos en la lucha. Exactly, yeah. And so I hear all these different languages and more when we're down there protesting together. These are the languages of anger, of justice, of peace. And all ages are present as well. From the young folks who are there at their first protest, some little kids getting pushed in strollers, on up to the elders who carry the stories of the Compton cafeteria and Zoot Suit riots from our past. Young people are catching visions, and old people are dreaming new dreams. The intergenerational connection is so important as we build a more peaceful world together. The young benefit from the wisdom and experience of the old benefit from the vision and passion of the young. That's why I'm so happy to be your director of multi-generational religious education. The artificial separation between generations, when we say, I'm millennial, I'm a baby boomer, whatever. It's just another divide between people that creates a barrier to building peace sometimes. Because when I look out here, I don't see boomers and Gen X's and silent generations. I see members of one human family who can all hold hands together and work together to build peace. So let's keep talking to each other and listening to each other, even more important. Whatever languages we speak, the language of the new world of peace on the horizon that we sang about in our first hymn this morning, like our faith, is not singular, but plural. It's not young or old, it's multi-generational. And we will build this peaceful world together. Amen?
Thank you, Jessica. UUSM's generous congregation program supports our church community, including our Peace and Social Justice Committee, which is one of our many programs under Faith in Action Commission. Together, we uplift the reach and impact of vital organizations doing work that we could not do on our own. This month, half of our Sunday offerings will go to CARISN, the Central American Resource Center. In its more than 30 years of existence, CARISN has gone from a small grassroots group to the largest Central American organization in the country, providing low-cost immigration, legal services, policy advocacy in immigration, and working for the rights of all immigrants. Longtime UUSM member Nora Hamilton, who died in 2024, was a founding member of the CARISN board in 1983, and she served on the board for almost 20 years. We invite you to contribute in whatever way feels right for you. Ways to give are displayed on the slide behind me, and all the ways of receiving support are gratefully accepted. Cash or checks can be placed in the offertory bags that will be passed around shortly. Your donations will support CARISN's work to help protect all immigrants and to make sure people are informed and know their rights. Thank you for all that you give monetarily and also through your time and your care at church and beyond. In so many ways, we continue dreaming and working for a peaceful world. The ushers are invited to come forward. Your offering will now be gratefully received.
Our multi-generational choir is going to share another song with you. And I'm excited for you to hear this beautiful music. Music has always been a part of my life. My parents are both musicians, and I think it's some of the most peaceful times of my life. I still tell James that when he's like noodling on the guitar or whatever, that just reminds me of my childhood sitting around listening to orchestra rehearsal or choir rehearsal, because that's always been a lot of my childhood. And so I just love how the power and beauty of music can bring us all together, regardless of our age, regardless of whatever our experience or skill level might be. And so we've chosen one of my favorite hymns that was new to me when I came to the UU Church, but probably familiar to a lot of you, which is Spirit of Life. And so we're going to have some of our featured singers, Sophia, Delaney, Zia, getting backed up by Tom back there, singing on our first verse. Then our entire choir will join in after that. And then the third time through, I would invite everyone to sing along with us. And that can be a picture of how peace can start with a few people and spread on out to everyone.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart of the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea.
leave yet, choir. I wanted to invite for another helper, Quinn. Give a big round of applause for Quinn. For our closing hymn today, it's a song called Shalom Haverim. And so we can learn it together. We're going to start out with Quinn playing the melody for us on the harp. So take it away, Quinn. Thank you, Quinn. He practiced that for us so that we could familiarize ourselves with the tune. And so now what we're going to do, oh, and I also had Zia, you were my other assistant here. What does Shalom Haverim mean?
Shalom Haverim means peace to our friends.
That's right. And what language is that?
Isn't it Hebrew? Yeah.
And so this is a traditional Hebrew song sung in a round. And so those words, Shalom Haverim, basically means peace to our friends. And then the next words that come up will be La Hitraot, and that means we'll see you again. So this is a good sort of ending song where we're saying farewell to each other, but that we'll meet again in peace. And so we're going to sing it through once for you because we're doing it kind of a special way. And then we're going to show you how you can join in with us. So is everybody ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's put this here.
Are we in our groups? One round, right?
Yeah, so why don't we call, let's see, group. Two groups? Okay, group 1, 1, 2, 3. Group 2, 1, 2, I'll be with 2. And then 1 will be with 3.
Okay.
Okay.
Shalom Haverim, Shalom Haverim, Shalom, Shalom. Lehitraot, Lehitraot, Shalom, Shalom. Shalom Haverim, Shalom Haverim, Shalom, Shalom.
Wasn't that fun? Because now you're going to join in with us. So we'll do it again. We'll do it all in unison, once through. And then group 1, so you're being led by these folks here. Sophia will point to you when it's time to start. Here's group 1. Sing out strong. Group 2, you'll be with me. And so we'll start when I point at group 2. And then group 3, Karen will point at you when it's time to start, and we'll all sing it around and see how it goes, okay? Let's give it another try.
Shalom Haverim, Shalom Haverim, Shalom, Shalom. Lehitraot, Lehitraot, Shalom, Shalom. Shalom Haverim, Shalom Haverim, Shalom, Shalom. Lehitraot, 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 Shalom, Shalom.
You guys did Thank you all so much. It's so fun to share music with each other, to be together with all generations. And if you ask me, I think we should work on growing and sustaining our all ages choir up here. What do you think? because we all did so great. We just got together yesterday and practiced some of this music and had a lot of fun. So I would love to have more people join us next time, because it was tons of fun. It's a great way to connect across the generations. And so now we're going to close out our service here the way that we always close it out over in the cottage, which is by singing "From You I Receive." And so some of our kids and helpers can show us the movements that go with that song. But I think it's a great one on the theme of our service today, and just the theme of our church as a whole, that we celebrate that we give to others and also receive from others, and that's what joins us in community. So I'll put this here so we can both show the moves, okay? All right, let's all sing together. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. Yay, thank you so much, everyone. Quinn, do you want to help me put up the job? So Quinn will help extinguish our chalice, but we remember that we carry this flame of love, peace, and community with us in our hearts as we go forward. So bless you all for being with us today, and thank you again so much to all of our multi-generational choir and our different RE leaders. Thank you so much, everyone.